Hey, Corbin here, and my DIY kitchen remodel is pretty much done. And so I want to take some time to reflect on the things that I thought worked really well in the design and things that we kind of don't like. And that way you can kind of learn from my mistakes or learn from what worked and take that and expand upon it further. So let's check out some of those details. Okay, so here's something I wish I would have done a little bit different. And if we take a look at the cabinets, this far cabinet is a single cabinet. It's got 3/4 inch ply here. The whole right hand side is one piece. Something that I wish I would have done differently. These two open together, but I put a center divider in here, which makes it really hard to get into big plates and things that I easily want to scoot out. So I wish I wouldn't have put this divider there. The reason I did it was for design aesthetics. So aesthetically, it looks very symmetrical. I've got one cabinet, center divider, another cabinet, center divider, and then another cabinet. In hindsight, I wish I didn't do it. A couple of my lowers actually didn't do it, and I'm pretty happy that I didn't do it there. So right here I've got my open cabinets, and I thought these worked really well. Things that we use all the time, such as spices, oils, and whatnot, are easy to access and right where we need them. So I'm pretty happy with that open design. And we could add things that actually look prettier than clothes and whatnot, but for now it's just kind of extra storage. So happy with that. So these cabinets are flush inset style, so they're inset and not proud of the face frames. And I love that look. I'm really happy with it. But one of the things it did is it means the cabinets are 3/4 inch further inwards, which gives me a less depth space. And so in here I have about 11¼ inches, which is good for pretty big plates. I wish I would have used 1/2 inch on the back plywood of the pieces instead of 3/4 inch. If I would have used 1/2 inch, I would get another 1/4 inch of depth and could just fit slightly larger plates and have a little bit more room in the cabinets. I thought that 3/4 inch would be nice for strength, and it is, but I just don't think it's necessary for upper cabinets. They're not really holding much weight on top of them and don't need the structural strength. A lot of people even use 1/4 inch instead of 1/2 inch. So I would have changed that. One of the cool things about these cabinets, they're very clean. I didn't need to put any hardware to any pulls or knobs to actually go ahead and open the doors. So I really like that clean look. It doesn't have a bottom face here, which is also very clean. So I'm pretty happy with that design. However, one thing that is a little bit confusing particularly on these doubles, it's hard to know actually which side to grab. So a pole would actually let me know which side to grab it at, or if I did eliminate this middle piece like I was saying before, it might be a lot more obvious which side you need to grab it at. So even though I've been using them for a good year plus, I still get a little confused and sometimes forget which side to grab them at. So plus minus, design looks cool, but functionality wise, you just gotta know where to grab. Okay, let's talk about the height of where these are put from the cabinet tops. So right here, these are smack dab about 18 inches, which is a good amount of height to get things underneath it. However, probably could have gone about 17.5 because I do have a little bit extra space, and my design actually allows maybe about 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch extra spacing here anyways to pull large things in and out. So I think I could have had these be a little bit lower, and a little bit lower would have been nice because I'm pretty short, and so I like things to be a little bit more accessible. And in fact, I dropped the lower shelves down about 2 inches from where I originally had them so that my wife and I could reach things a little bit easier. So with regards to that height, I actually wish I would have put the bottoms to be flush with this level point right here, or maybe just like a 1/4 inch above it so that it wouldn't ever show. So the reason why is that means I could actually put this down about another 1/2 inch lower. And if this is another 1/2 inch lower, my space underneath is still large because it's basically from these where it's 18 inches. And if it's a 1/2 inch lower, it gives me these to be a 1/2 inch lower, and it's that much easier for me to grab stuff. Something I'm really happy with, these drawers right by the stove. So they are really large drawers, easy to store, easy to get my pots and pans, and tons of space. I really like it. I've seen a lot of people who have cabinet doors and then pull-outs, and that's a two-step operation. You really don't want a two-step operation. If you're going to be pulling a drawer out, just put a drawer in and don't put any door faces. So not everyone may agree with me, and actually I kind of wish I would have doubled these up over here and done 2 sets of deep drawers. But that's kind of a personal choice. Okay, this little door here is actually really cool because it allows me to store just stove pans and cookie sheets and whatnot. A whole bunch of them here vertically. I really like it. It's nice and tight and holds a bunch of stuff and utilizes a small space that otherwise would have not been utilized very well. Pretty happy with that. Okay, let's talk about the height. So, you probably can't see in the tape measure, but basically these are about 1/8 under 3 feet. So just a tiny bit shy of 36 inches. A lot of people like to have tall cabinets because they're tall. I'm pretty short at 5'6". My wife is 5'2". And so these heights at a little bit under 36, just perfect for us. We really are happy with it. I almost would prefer slightly lower, but the only way to get it slightly lower would have been to have maybe a thinner countertop. So one of the problems with having it to be so short is I actually made the height of the cabinets to be shorter than standard. So the cabinets are about 34 inches high, and then I have almost a 2-inch thick concrete countertop. A lot of times people will put a concrete countertop 2 inches thick on top of their regular height cabinets, and it'll end up being about 1 inch taller than standard, so about 37 inches, which would be way too tall for me. So if you are doing custom cabinets and you're on the shorter side, I highly recommend dropping the cabinets to be about 1 inch shorter than normal so that you can actually get a 2-inch thick concrete slab on top if you're using concrete slab. If you aren't using concrete and you're using something else like granite or whatnot, it's probably 3/4 of an inch thick, and so you can probably do a standard height and not have an issue with that. It did cause some issues. My original dishwasher I was going to use, but I had trouble height-wise fitting it in. It would have fit in without a top piece here, but I wanted just a slight 3/4 of an inch top piece to kind of frame the dishwasher, and so I had to buy a new dishwasher, which kind of sucked, but I found one that was slightly shorter, ADA or something, so it's more accessible, and that one fit into the space. It's actually got a bit of space around the sides. It actually turned out to be something nice because I'm really happy with this dishwasher and the way it's set up. Let me show you why. Okay, so I had to buy a new dishwasher. That kind of sucked. But there is something that's really awesome that I really like about this new dishwasher. And what's really cool about it, it has a top silverware rack, which is super nice because the drawer where we store silverware is right here. So it just goes from here to here. And it's just so easy to put silverware away. Before I used to hate putting silverware away, and no, it's not bad. One of the design features I'm really happy with, the pull-out trash cans, trash and recycling, very handy. You don't have to open a door and squeeze under to get some trash in somewhere, so I think that was a good idea. The concrete countertops, we really like them. They're super durable and I think they look great. There are a few drawbacks to concrete countertops, and let me go over some of the details. But first, let's talk about what I really like about them. I like the integrated drain area. Drains right into the sink, works really well. Check out my video on making it if you want to see how I did this. And usually I have a disc drainer here. I just took it away for purposes of video. I'm super excited to have cool accents embedded into it that look awesome. But let's take a look at some of the things I don't like so much. One of the problems with concrete, it's very susceptible to acids. And so right here, I had actually cut up a bunch of limes, and the lime juice sat for maybe 5 or 10 minutes before I wiped it off, but it was long enough to go ahead and leave some permanent stains on the countertops. I could sand them out and refinish it, but it's kind of a bummer to have them there. Oh well, adds character. Other problems we have, which are a little hard to show in video, these are a jet black concrete countertop on a white admix base, and the black fades after the top coat wears away. And so where water's been a lot, you can see it fading to be a little bit more gray than black. Not a big deal, but they don't look perfectly the way something like granite or some other material might look like. So another spot with a lot of water right under our soap dish that I machined. Pre-up with the sink. The sink and the faucet is actually super handy. So this granite sink was one of the pricier parts of my kitchen remodel, and I like it. It's awesome. It came with a chip in it though. I don't know if I caused the chip, but I noticed it after we put it in. Kind of a bummer for such an expensive sink. And one of the things that my wife really doesn't like is I like two basins, which is nice, and I like one to be larger. I like the polished front. One of the things that she mentioned that she doesn't like is if there's water coming out and you hit the water right here, it's going to tend to want to go and drip down the front if you hit it in the center. So kind of a bummer because a lot of times there's water down the front. Some of the accents that we added. Spoon and fork. So I really like the bar top. It is brand new. I installed it or finished putting it in yesterday. So it's hard to know how well it's going to hold up and if we have issues with it. We don't even have any chairs for it yet. Looks cool though. This is the pantry. One of the things that was difficult with the pantry was getting the inset lines to line up just perfectly, and the gaps aren't quite 100% perfect as a lot of the other stuff. It's really hard because a lot of the wood will tend to bow out after I installed it, and so it was tricky to get the gap just perfect. But I am pretty happy with the quality of how it turned out. Some really deep areas. This might be a nice area where you have pull-outs, even though I hate open a door and do a pull-out. It might have been handy to have some rollers, and maybe I'll add some at some later time. We will see. Super handy to have full extension soft close drawers. The Blum hardware is pretty nice for soft close features. I love it that we don't slam the doors. And if you don't like it for some reason, you can actually disable it. But soft close for the doors and the drawers is nice. One of the kitchen design features that I really like a lot, the bar top over here hides a lot of the lower kitchen countertop for the sink area. And so that has the advantage of just making everything look cleaner. Anything on the kitchen countertop will be kind of hidden by the bar top. So that was the design idea that I had that I felt like worked really well. In addition, I really like having an island with the sink here because you can do dishes, do cooking prep, do cleanup, do some type of cooking stuff while you're facing people out in the front at the dining area. And so it allows you to kind of interact more with people who are visiting. So I'm pretty happy with that. So one of the last things that turned out pretty cool was the custom etched backsplash. I like how it looks. Originally I was getting a lot of stains in the part that we did etching on, and so we filled in with oil and that helped prevent stains on the etching. However, this was really a cheap piece of stainless steel from a big box store, and the stainless steel has actually been stained from oil and stuff splashing on it, and it's just a little surprising. So maybe I should have bought a better quality piece of stainless steel. I also need to attach it better. It's still really flimsy, and I need to glue it on or do something so it doesn't flop back and forth, but it works pretty well. Hey, thanks for watching me talk about my DIY kitchen remodel. Hopefully you can take a few things that I noted and incorporate them into your own kitchen and fix some mistakes that I made or do things that you think might work better for your particular design. Subscribe and like the video and add comments and questions. Bye!